Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from the MLG studios here in New York City. You're watching the losers match of this first group of the round of 16 of WCS America. Sen versus Nestea. The players are ready. I'm hitting the start game button as we get into game 2, a must-win situation for Sen here, or he's going to be out of the WCS America Premier League.
Of course, this is a situation where Sen gets even more dangerous. Sen is probably a little bit mad about how that first game went, of course. A very conservative macro opening from Sen, and Nestea cut a few corners that Sen wasn't really prepared to punish him for. Sen now may be like, okay, I'm just going to go hyper-aggressive and make sure he can't do that, but
yeah,
what's to say Nestea's going to do the exact same build 2 times in a row?
Exactly. It's such a dangerous proposition, skipping that Banely nest early, that, you're going to be vulnerable. That's going to happen. So, as you said, I'm very intrigued to see if Sen abuses that fact and potentially tries to metagame a little bit, assuming his opponent might go for the same thing, but metagame can go both directions. Anything can happen here in game number 2 of this best of 3. The bottom right-hand location of Belshir Vestige, we have the Red Zerg player hailing from Korea. Representing Team Incredible Miracle, he's 1 win away from advancing to the losers final of this group. He is Nestea. His opponent in the top left-hand location is your Blue Zerg player hailing from Taiwan. He must win 2 in a row here to keep his hopes alive in Season 1 of the WCS America Premier League. He is Sen.
Overlords have a lot of eyes.
They do, don't they?
I just noticed that. They don't just have 2 eyes.
Also
Maybe that's why they're so good at scouting. I think they've got like 8 eyeballs, 4 on each side.
So does that mean they're spiders?
It could. But yeah, you know Zerg does.
Do they have 8 legs?
You know what? I think
Is this the biggest conspiracy in Starcraft 2 history?
So they kind of have 6
actually
legs and then 2 like claw things. I don't know if those are legs or
That's 8
not.
legs.
The ones in the front.
Overlords are spiders, confirmed.
Sounds like we figured it out. Of course, the way Zerg works is they find other species that they feel have traits that are good, and they like take those traits, but they also put in their own DNA to make that species more aggressive and vicious, and they basically take all the good parts of DNA from various things to create their new creatures. So,
what was that guy in the campaign? Abathur? Or
yes.
How do you say? Is it Abathur?
Abathur.
Abathur. Should we cast this game like Abathur?
I cannot do that.
There's a Twitter account actually that mimics the guy, and it's actually pretty hilarious. You guys should definitely go check that out. I think there's also a Reddit novelty account. It's pretty funny. But yeah, we're on Belshir Vestige, and I have a question about game 1. What allowed? It just felt like Sen was so good with its multi-pronged harassment, attacking the third, attacking the main with the mutas and the links. What allowed Nestea to get such a good advantage to take that win?
It was basically the fact that Sen did so much damage to the economy, but he never damaged the gas of Nestea. Even when he killed the 12 drones at the third, Nestea always kept 3 drones on both of those gas geysers. So basically put Nestea in a situation where he had no mineral income. But he still had enough gas that because of the Banely investment, he had a mute advantage, and he basically pushed that to win. If Sen was able to maybe use his mineral advantage to stall out for longer, maybe if he built a spore crawler in each base. He was up by enough drones, he had enough minerals, he could have done that. Or it was maybe a little more assertive and consistently countering with the speedlings. He kind of backed the speedlings away, whereas he probably could have just kept countering to third base. Nestea would have had to keep the mutas on a defensive.
Yeah.
But basically, he left a small window where Nestea had the opportunity to cross the map with the mutas. And then because he had more, he just won. It basically just came down to that. Maybe Sen didn't quite, make the judgment call. Oh, he's got more mutas than me. I need a spore or to be hyper-aggressive. And literally, just a tiny misjudgment like that can cost you a game in Starcraft 2.
Yeah, definitely a game that could have gone either way, and the same goes for this. These 2 guys are very closely matched, I feel.
That queen is hiding out, playing guard to fort.
Where?
The natural of Sen, sorry. Oh, right, we're looking.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a really smart placement, because
if the lanes swing on by, you don't want them having that service area.
Exactly, and we actually saw that. Snoot won the game purely from queen placement against ST. Remember when on Whirlwind, Snoot was caught totally off guard. I think it was Whirlwind. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was, but whatever map it was. He was basically caught totally off guard, but the speedlings got caught up trying to attack a queen that they couldn't attack, and the drones all escaped.
I think.
Yes, it was. Exactly, and Snoot was at the bottom. Both players doing that. Nestea cuddling his queen in a natural as well.
Nestea was still just the crazy fast layer.
Yeah, he likes this build. I mean, it is a little bit different. Not
Sure.
This is not quite as fast, and we can tell because in the other game his lair was pretty much done when Sen started it, but this game he did get the Bane Nest. He is getting a few Banings, and it's probably because he says, okay, my opponent might try to metagame me, right, and do some mass, speeding Baning attack. So he's ready to make his own Banings if needed this game.
This is a really nice scout here from Sen, identifying the lair. Now he's looking for the tech, looking for that Spire.
I think he can assume it's Spire.
Sure.
Oh, taking out a Baling too.
Nice.
Wow, so cost efficient. But he's going to know the exact Spire timing of his opponent, which is very, very, very useful. Because he knows, okay, his Spire's ahead of mine, but it's not nearly as ahead as it was in the last game. And so I won't have to worry quite as much about that.
Both these guys with Spires up right away. Of course, Sen a little bit closer in the Spire timing versus last game, but Nestea still with a bit of an advantage, and now we're going to look out for those thirds. How fast can these guys secure their 5th and 6th gas? Because those gases are so important in extending that muted count to, of course, be superior to your opponents. And of course, it's going to be very important to watch these speedlings. What are they able to deny? What are they able to take out? Because if they can deny the third even a little bit, and swing it into their advantage, that's going to be huge as far as the muted count is concerned.
Well, Sen has a big advantage in ground units. Once he gets his spine set up at his third base, he can be confident that can defend his own third. A really cute move there with the Overlord dropping creep at the third to get that spine set up. And now if we notice, while his speedings were defending, his Banings are crossing the map. He's now ready to try to deny the third of Nestea's. He's got 2 Banings and a significant speeding advantage. And Nestea just lost his Banings that were defending the third base.
Oh, no.
There's nothing to defend his third.
Nestea was also supply block there. He could have been making a bunch of mutas, but he's only able to make 2. And this hatchery might get denied. Sen going to be targeting it down. A hero Baneling trying to make it through, but not able to make it happen. The hatchery even getting killed here from Sen, taking out the third base and retreating behind this. His third is about to get up. He has a spine crawler there as well, and he's about to make 10 mutas.
A big win for Sen. Nestea's stuck in a position where he's going to be significantly behind in muted count because Sen's going to have the faster 6 gas income than Nestea. What can Nestea do to the even odds? In fact, more speedings crossing the map. They could potentially deny the third yet again.
Gotta be wary of the Banelings. The Baneling going to be bored from Nestea, trying to get a huge connection. But again, this might be keeping Nestea back at home as well. Can't go across the map. However, now I'm not sure he even wants to, considering, again, Sen is going to have 10 mutas on the field. And so, he's going to be fine with that defender's advantage if Nestea decides to attack across. So now we're going to have a strange situation where these guys, again, are going to continually try to deny each other's third bases. But once Sen gets this 5th and 6th gas up, his muta count might just, go crazy.
Both players currently have the same muta count, but Sen has more gas income right now.
Yep.
Like you said, he's going to have the higher muta count going forward. Nestea has the one advantage of a slightly faster upgrade timing, so potentially he could try to force engagements when he has an upgrade advantage, and that might mitigate the muta factor. The other thing is, his third base is coming up now. And his gases are going to be ready, whereas Sen's gases actually were a little bit on the late, and he was so preoccupied at killing a third of his opponents. So it's not like Nestea can't make a comeback, but he's going to have to make some good moves. And the muta's in the main.
Oh, you got to be so careful about this. You have to be aware of where your opponent's mutas are. It looks like a few drones taken out there, especially the ones on gas, which, again, gas is the huge story here in this ZVC, especially when it's muta versus muta. Sen still trying to be aggressive towards the bottom left-hand side of the map. Sees nothing doing there. Going to have to retreat back. But, again, staying safe. Has his third base up, has those gases running, and now we're seeing his muta count explode. Again, Nestea has that +1 armor advantage, but it's slowly, that window is slowly ticking away.
And it's going to basically, going for +2 armor. The longer he waited to start his next upgrade, the less window he'd have again for the second upgrade. What's really neat from Nestea is Nestea's recognizing he's behind. He's going to have to play super defensive. If he's going to play super defensive and stall for a late game, this level 2 armor upgrade is better than the more traditional +1 attack because as if you can get it up, you're going to have the advantage. Of course, +1 attack is better if you want to start the engagements earlier because it's a cheaper upgrade, so you can have more mutas and it researches faster. So let's see if Sen goes for that. No, he's going for the armor as well. So a very even game with upgrades. Sen still with a little bit of advantage as far as the muta count goes.
He's starting to split up his units too, sending some lings towards that third base. Also has the mutas posturing outside the main. Realizes his opponent's mutas are in that location, so he's going to swing into the main base with the mutas, taking down a queen. A spore crawler is there though, so going to back away immediately. Again, meanwhile the lings counterattacking into that third base. Going to going to be backing away as fast as possible. So Sen just taking little pokes here and there, and I'm wondering about the timing of these guys' fourth, because the fourth is going to be very important as far as getting the 7th and 8th gas, again, to maintain that gas advantage.
Sen with great defense, or excuse me, Nestea with great defense so far. They're defending that third base from the speedings. He's hanging in there, and as the supply counts get higher and higher and higher, being just a couple mutas up means less and less. Oh, but some drones going down into natural. Going for the Spire, actually.
Oh, gosh, targeting the down. And again, it has that armor upgrade on the way. If Sen can snipe this down, it would be huge, down to 450. No, he's gonna abandon ship there. A Baneling coming in to help out as well. Muta's taking Mutas from Nestea off guard here as Sen, and that's a great pickoff. Any Muta you can get for free is absolutely huge. Meanwhile, we have some Lings running into the third base, but those are going to get cleaned up fairly quickly. And, of course, a Ling in the main going to get taken down as well. Spore Crawler being targeted down in the main as well. Sen doing a great job with his multi-pronged harassment.
He's taking advantage of his basically superior economy to know that his opponent has to keep the mutas on the left side to defend the third from the speedings descent, which means on the right side of the map, his mutas are free to do some serious damage. Taking a look at the numbers of things, actually the muta count right now is exactly dead even. So Nestea's being able to catch up in the muta count, but Sen still has a slight advantage in the speeding count.
Oh, might have to get your Mutas versus Mutas going to be
There's
happening.
no +2 armor for Sen.
Oh, no, this is the timing Nestea has been looking for. If he can get a nice engagement here, I think he realizes it too. He's definitely clicked on the Muta, definitely identified his opponent's upgrade or lack thereof. Still no +2 armor, I should say, here from Sen. The Mutas attacking each other in the air, and I think Nestea might slowly be taking an advantage. He's up 25 to 23 in the Harvesters, but Sen has decided enough is enough. The second armor hasn't kicked in yet, but there's 2 queens underneath, the Lings as well underneath, absorbing some of that damage, and Nestea is going to be the one to back away.
But I don't even know who was ahead there. It's Nestea clearly had the advantage in the Muta War, but like you said, the 2 queens and of course the closer rally point from Sen meant that he had a couple extra mutas into those engagements. That the trade was almost dead even, and now both players are upgrading almost the exact same time. We have pretty much a dead even game here. Everything from workers to army is 100% the same in both these players.
Like a 8 versus 6 Ling battle on the right-hand side of the map there, suiting that those guys had, the same number of units, all over the map, and even at that 4th location. And now Sen is going to be running across the map here, trying to get some damage done. I wonder if he wants to go for an engagement here. It's very tricky choosing these engagements. It's so tough to tell when you should go for it.
He was trying to distract Nestea on the left side to do run by the natural, but his speedings were defended there as well. No player finding holes in their opponent quite yet, but a lot of feeling out. There's so much moving and poking, and this is the type of game where a lesser Zerg would make a mistake and Sen or Nestea would punish it immediately and straight away win the game. And because these guys are so evenly matched this game, it's just they're countering. Every time someone moves in a certain direction, the other player parries that attack, and then the guy who made the first move has to back away and go for something else. We can see here Sen going for the main of Nestea.
Oh, Nestea is out of position. His meters are still in the middle of the map. Queen getting
going for the gas.
Taking the gas out. That's actually, again, a pretty big deal where gas is so important. These guys still both on 3 bases. Lings threatening a counterattack into the 3rd base. And Nestea is on the left side of the map with his mutas, and Sen gonna re-engage in the main.
Oh, taking out the Spore Cars before they're finished. Again, going for the gas. The Queen and drones going down as well. But now he's got to get back home because Nestea is mad. His mutas are on a counterattack, and Sen's mutas are out of position.
Nestea going straight for the natural expansion, taking down an Overlord here, going straight for that mineral line. Sen desperately trying to retreat, trying to get an optimal engagement here. Some Mutas being caught off guard here. Again, this is the advantage of camping your opponent's production, but Muta versus Muta going to happen right here, right now. Nestea kiting away a little bit. Sen feeling very confident here, going for that engagement. It's hard to tell again who's going to come out on top. Mutas is 30 to 23 in favor of Nestea. Nestea is going to be perfectly happy with its engagement so far, but again, the reinforcements coming in from Sen, they could prove the difference. Also, a Ling counterattack into the natural expansion of Nestea, but Sen is going to have to back away from the Muta fight.
He backs away from the Muta fight, but the natural has been totally destroyed by the speed encounter. Every drone has gone down. The Spire is vulnerable. Sen saying, no, I don't want the Spire. I want to go straight for the main as well.
Oh, I think Nestea is looking really good here. Here's a 26 to 15 in the Mutas, trying to track Sen's Mutas down, and he's going to be successful in the main base. One Spore Crawler down below, getting 1 shot off, but that's not going to be enough, and I think Nestea might be able to clean up these Mutas. No, he's just deciding to back away, not feeling confident after all, trying to reinforce with the Mutas of his own, and then go for another engagement. But Nestea has a supply advantage, 81 to 56, looking great in this game.
Nestea basically dismantling Sen's entire bases, but Sen, on the other hand, dismantling these Nestea bases with the speed encounters. Both players basically aren't mining, but the difference is Nestea has a superior mute account, so when it comes down to that last engagement, Nestea should have the advantage.
No Spires are on the field anymore, by the way. They have both been taken out. The natural expansion taken out there by Sen. And this game has just become very interesting. Spire going to be rebuilt here from Sen, but I think you called it there. Like, the superior mute account belongs to Nestea, and it's drastic. It's 24 to 13. Nestea has 11 drones. Sen has 10 drones.
Nestea very intelligently builds 2 spawns at his third base, knowing that is the only way he can lose is basically if his opponent kills him with a speed encounter again. If he can force it to Muta versus Muta, his numbers will win.
All right, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Sen forced to engage, but I think this could be it for Sen in WCS America. There's the GG from Sen. Nestea takes the 2-0 over Sen, and he'll be advancing to the losers final as they shake hands. What a crazy game we had there. Nestea moving on.
What a beautiful game by Nestea. I mean, Sen had the advantage by killing the third of Nestea's, but Nestea said, you know what? I'll defend and defend and defend, and eventually you'll make a mistake, and you know, the Mutas are opposition, and Sen kind of, he lost the game of chicken on the base race.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I'm heading back home, but you already lost a lot of rally Mutas, you know, too much damage.
It's a crazy situation. What's like the next step? You know, after you keep making Mutas, you're focusing on their upgrades. Is there a next step for those guys in that ZVZ in the Muta Wars?
Well, there does become a point when you have enough economy, you're like, okay, I can build a few spores,
right,
and do an infestor transition. But the hard part is saying, when can I do that without falling behind? Because Muta Infestor will be straight Muta, but it's just, if you're too far behind because you lose map control, it's a very hard time to figure out exactly when to make that transition. In this case, both players said, no, you know what, Muta all the way.
Sure.
And you know, Nestea's Muta play was just a little bit better.
Yeah, Nestea coming back after falling down 2-1. Of course, 2 Snoot to take out Sen 2-0. He's not going anywhere. Nestea is a guy who will never give up. Guys, coming up next, we're going to have the final match of the evening. It's going to be the losers bracket, I guess you could say, final between Nestea and Alicia, where the winner will advance to the round of 8 of WCS America. Guys, stay tuned. That's coming up next.